Why is property inflation hedging? We've almost heard this statement all and all again before, that property is inflation hedging. Well, is it true, and what makes it inflation hedging? Let's check out today. So let's know about some of the main characteristics about property. So number one, it is real and tangible asset, which can be touched. It's a physical thing, right? And number two is that the transactions of it mostly takes a longer time as compared to other so-called liquid assets such as stocks and cash, in which it took mostly few weeks all the way to few months or even years to complete the transaction of title from one owner to another owner. And due to these characteristics, thus making it much less volatile as compared to other liquid assets, in which it makes up these inflation hedging characteristics of the property itself, as the transaction took a longer time than other liquid assets, which makes it much lagging behind the existing economic conditions. Say when we are experiencing economic downturn, the impact would not be immediate to the property market, but rather in months to come, as the transactions start to take over between the buyers and sellers due to the economic conditions. Number three is that it's common for most people to have property as their most expensive purchase in their lifetime due to the high components that make up the overall high cost as compared to other goods, services, and commodities, while providing as a shelter for people, which serves as one of the human basic rights as well, thus making it much more value, or we call it has intrinsic value, even during devaluations or wipeout of currencies. Number four is that it provides multiple income sources, both from capital gain and rental cash flow from the same financial assets, which makes it much more attractive as compared to other financial assets that mostly give in terms of gain from their return. So now, how to use property as a hedge? So number one is that over time, the land and space scarcity, along with the rising population, properties tends to rise in price due to these circumstances. And as property prices rises, it lowers down the LTV, loan to value ratio, for any mortgage loan, acting as a natural discount for your cost of borrowings. Although this effect of natural discount is being balanced up by having interest rate to peg at floating rate to make the lending business profitable over time. Number two is that for those that are getting rental that provides cash flow, this further enhances the effect of inflation hedging, as the mortgage is at the same amount while the rental, if initially covered at least 70% of the total installment, which means the interest within the installment is fully covered, then you would have a net asset gain over time until the point that you settle out the outstanding amount from the mortgage, and once the loan is settled, you get the full amount from the net rental that you get every month moving onwards until you pass on the property to others. Lastly, the appreciation of property over time will exceed the inflation rate most of the time, which hedge inflations for properties over the years. So here's a summary. Number one is that property can be leveraged to jump your income tier from one to another if you know the right way to do it. Number two is that inflation hedging is to maintain your purchasing power over time, especially during inflationary periods. Thanks for watching, and if you want to learn more about property,
这是对来选手，那么的看我们进来，我是买的什么？